Everyone, it's Deja with Knit and Crochet Ever After, and today I'm really excited because I got a present from Knitter's Pride and I can't wait to try them out and tell you what I think about them. So without further ado, I am going to try out the Knitter's Pride Cubics Symphony Rose Deluxe Interchangeable Needle Set. So Knitter's Pride sent me these to try out. I asked for them specifically, and another set that you'll see in a little bit, not in this video, a different video, but I asked for these two needle sets because they are totally different than what I have. I have never tried Knitter's Pride. They reached out to me and I'm like, please, yes, I want to. I've always wanted to try these, but like all of my yarn stores, I'm in a yarn store desert where I live. There's only one and it's good, but they don't have any Knitter's Pride and I've always wanted to try. So I was really excited when they reached out. I wanted to try these cubics because they are square shaped. They're not circular like a regular needle. The actual needle itself is square. And it says something about ergonomic. I'm really interested to see if that is true, or maybe they just don't roll off the table. I don't know. I'm really excited to try these. So let's open them up and take a look at them a little bit closer. Okay, out of the bag, you get kind of the little card that tells you what's in it and the needles. And this carrying case is so pretty. It's like a damask. Oh, I love this case. I love this case so much. It's so pretty. I'm not going to get into these yet. I'm going to tell you what comes in it first. So the pack contains 7 knitting needle tips, obviously, you know, pairs. So I'll flip it around so you can see the tips. It's US sizes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, and 11. And the metric is 4, 4 and a half, 5, 5 and a half, 6, 6 and a half, and 8, which is like kind of standard for most needle sets. Some will go a little smaller to like 3, 3 and a half. I think my Addy, where are my Addies? They're not close. I think the smallest of my Addy might be a 3 and a half. So I think I get a 6 and a half here instead of a 3 and a half, which I totally am fine with because I do use 6 and a half a lot. There are 4 cords. And I love this. They have them in different colors so that you can see easily. So there's 1 24-inch, 2 32 inches, and 1 40-inch. And then it's got a set of size markers, 8 end caps, and 4 cord keys, because they're probably small and you might lose them. So I'm going to get closer so that you can actually see how these cubics look and everything that's included so that you can get a better look. Duh. And then I'm going to start a project with them, and I'm not going to just do like a couple stitches. I'm going to do a whole project with this so that I can let you know, are these ergonomic? Are they special? Are they different from circulars? Can I tell the difference? I want to let you know all that. So let's go get close up. Here we have the packaging of the cubics. I have the 8mm removed because I've been working with it so that I can give you kind of a overview of how it works. And you'll see that each of the needles are stamped with the size, which I like. So it's an easy to read. It's not, you know, just engraved and hard to see. It's got this pretty damask cover or holder, and it's very slim. So it's packaged very nicely so that you don't have a lot of bulk and you can just throw it in your knitting bag. And then the way that it opens up, it's got a flap, and then you can pull your needles out. I like the way that they're stored. They are in there nice and secure. They're a good length as well. I like how long that they actually are. Then we have our cords, and I do love that the cords are different colors for the different sizes. That makes it a lot easier to find which cord you need. One thing that I will probably do is cut out this little guy here with the cord colors, because even though, you know, you'll know which one's the biggest one, the smallest one, once you get into it, you might be like, okay, I need my 40-inch and it's just easier to know, okay, the orange is 32, the 40-inch is the red, so that you can just grab it and move on. So I'll cut that out, and then I will stick it in this little handy pocket where the other items were. And this is included, and this is just the instructions on how to put the needle tips together onto the cords. And if you have interchangeable needles, you probably already know how to do it with the key and everything. And you get packaged the end caps for your projects, and these screw on to the cord so that if you need to put your work down and go do something, you just screw those onto the end, and you can take the needles off, and then that way you won't lose your project. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and you have 4 cords and 4 pins or keys, so that if you lose one, you still got plenty. And then you also get a set of size markers. And so this is also handy if you take off your needle tips. Pull one of these out. So if you're working your project, you take it off the needles, you put on the end caps, and before you do that, you add this little size marker. So you can see this says US 7 and 4.5 millimeter on the other end. You put that on there so that way you don't forget what needle size you were using. So these are super handy, and they have a range of sizes on here, even more than what is available, because I see a 12 millimeter than what's actually in the package, so it gives you a good range. So just for a quick little show of how these go together, it's got, of course, the screw on the end and the screw on the cord. There's a little tiny hole that you can kind of make out, and you'll just screw these on. And they should stay pretty well on just by hand tightening, but you use the little key that they give you, you stick it in that hole, and then you tighten it down with, opposite pressure. And one thing that's really nice about this cubic, you get a good grip rather than the round needles where you might slide a little. You get a good grip to be able to tighten that down really well. So, and then the way that these end caps work, and you could even, just have one side stopped off if you need to for whatever reason. So you just screw that on, and then you have your project in the middle, and you have both of these on both ends, and your project is not going to slide off. So those are really handy to have around. And they screw on a lot. But how do these actually work? Let's go grab the project that I've been working on. Okay, so I've been working on this scarf project, and it's going to be one of my free patterns, so make sure you follow me if you want to know when this is released. And I was using the 8 millimeter needles. One thing I want to point out is that it is stamped on, so I've been working, and some of the stamps are better than others. This one actually is missing a little bit of the 8, but that's how it came. But working continuously, touching these, has not rubbed off the stamp. I don't know if over time it will eventually, but your gauge checker does work for these. So this is the 8 millimeter. We have our 8 right here, and it does fit in there. So you will be able to tell the difference. It's, much more space. It does move just slightly, but I haven't noticed like a really big difference in gauge with the regular 8 millimeter. So you can check gauge with these if the markings do wear off eventually. And that's something that's helpful because, a lot of your needles usually are not marked. So the needles themselves, they have that beautiful rosewood color to them. They are very smooth and slick. I have no problems actually knitting with them. The joins are completely smooth. One thing that I was very worried about, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, was the cord itself, because when you pull the cord out, it kind of seemed like it was going to be kind of a Susan Bates, like just stuck circular kind of cord that you might have to go boil to have it, lay flat. But when working with these, I don't get any tangles. I don't get kind of the wrap up on itself like you might get with kind of that Susan Bates really hard cord. So it's really, what am I doing here? I forgot which pattern I'm doing. So it's really pleasant with that cord, because even my Addy turbos, I have problems with that cord or those cords wrapping up on me when I have, you know, a longer cord and I'm working a flat project. So I have been pleasantly surprised with the cords for these cubics. So the whole point of the cube shape on their website for Knitter's Pride is that it can help with hand issues, hand pain like arthritis. Now I don't have arthritis, but I do get hand pain, you know, every once in a while. Usually like when I'm working a tighter gauge project, I'll get hand pain from working the stitches and I'll get pain in my hands. These have been really nice to work with. They're very comfortable to hold. They are just very easy to use, and it's not a huge difference, but it's noticeable. So like you do realize that you're working with a square shaped product rather than the circular, but it's kind of nice. You don't feel like you have to adjust, like you don't feel like you have to turn them a certain way to hold them, like you have to hold them on the flat side. You can hold them on the corners, you can hold them on the flat side, so it doesn't affect your knitting. Like I don't have to stop and adjust the needles so that they're comfortable. It just is. So it's a really different kind of feeling, but you still are knitting the same. Like it's not some great revelation, you know, like it doesn't make the knitting easier, it doesn't make it different. It's just the grip and the feeling in your hands is the only difference that I can tell. So you can see I'm knitting very easily, entering into the stitches. I'm entering even over here. I'm not having to move to the tip of the needle. I can easily enter on the shaft of the needle, so it doesn't affect your knitting at all, and it's really an interesting kind of feel. I haven't had any hand pain while using the needles, and I've done, you know, this much of the scarf so far because I wanted to do a long run with it to see, you know, is this cable going to bother me? Are these markings going to come off? Are these going to be uncomfortable after using them for a long time? And none of that happened. It's all been very great and pleasant. So, final thoughts on these. They are really an interesting product, and I would recommend them to people that may be having hand pain with other needles to give them a try and see what they think. Not only do they come in the interchangeable, they come in fixed circulars, DPNs, and straight needles, so you can give them a try. You can get just one set and see how they work for you. I will continue to use these and kind of give updates. You'll see these, I'm sure, in videos. I'm going to be posting this video for this scarf as well, so you'll see me using these on that. But if you like Knitter's Pride and you haven't tried these yet, or if you've never had or tried Knitter's Pride, give these a try. I've got them in the link in my description. Let me know what you think. You know, I let everybody know if you've used these before. What do you think about these cubics? I'd be very interested to see. If you want to see more reviews, free patterns, and good stuff, hit the follow button, hit the bell to get notified when this pattern comes out, and be sure to like the video. And thank you for watching.